I feel like if you're a Phoenix Suns fan or an NBA fan who's watching the Titanic sink from the sidelines, you're going to want to stay tuned to this. Oh, baby. New Phoenix Suns article just dropped, and I'm going to be dead honest with all of you. I don't know if I've ever laughed out loud this much at an article before. And it has absolutely nothing to do with Tim MacMahon's reporting. This is a very well sourced, reported, written article. Hat tip to Tim MacMahon. We appreciate the fact that he could shed some light on the, quote, terrible time that everybody's having. This is going to be a little bit more of a casual video. I'm going to be honest with you. This might be a little bit of a longer one as well, because when I was reading through this, I had so much to get off of my chest. And what we're going to do is I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take you through this and I'm going to give you my reaction to all of this. And if you didn't read this article, sure, go read it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on. And if you want more on this, I'll be talking with our PHNX Suns crew later on Friday night pre- and post-game show for the game. But, man, when I tell you that there were some laugh out loud moments from this article, I don't even know what to say. Let's just dive right into this. So it starts off by referencing the fact that the Suns were desperately in need of a saving grace, something to salvage, something to rally around. And it starts with Kevin Durant leading that comeback against the Clippers, the largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history. And talking to Mat Ishbia, who's on the record in this, MacMahon says, maybe this win was a rallying point needed for the Suns to salvage their season. And Mat Ishbia, this is the direct quote from the article, says, I like that analogy. Brash billionaire owner Mat Ishbia told ESPN a couple days later, I'm going to use that to coach when I talk to them. The follow-up sentence. The Suns have lost 3 of 4 games since. That is the epitome of who this team has shown who they are. It doesn't matter what the rallying cry is. It doesn't matter if they won 1 game. This team is fundamentally broken. And I can't tell you exactly how, but I can tell you it's fundamentally broken. And this quote from Ishbia, I still believe in our team. I still believe in Coach Budenholzer. Come on. I believe in the guys we have. And at the same time, at the end of the season, if we don't get where we expect to get to, I'll have enough data and evidence that it didn't work out or it did work. And we'll make decisions based off of that. And he also says, if we get to the playoffs, I don't think we'd be an easy out for anybody. Brother, you are an easy out because you are out of the play-in. You're not even in the play-in. What do you mean you wouldn't be an easy out for anybody in the playoffs? In theory, yeah. In theory, you could walk into most series and have an argument that you might have the 2 best, if not the 1 best player on the court at all times. Yeah, in theory. You're not an easy out. In theory, you shouldn't be 6 games under 500, almost 70 games into the season. In theory, you shouldn't be outside of the play-in. In the NBA, 20 out of 30 teams make some sort of postseason action, and you, the number 1 highest payroll in the NBA, the highest paid trio of players in the NBA, you are in the 11th seed in the Western Conference, with Portland, San Antonio, all right next to you. And ahead of you is the Dallas Mavericks, and don't even get me started on why the Dallas Mavericks should not be ahead of you. Now, of course, Ishbia says that if they do not make the postseason, then anything is on the table except for trading Devin Booker. And that aligns with the reporting that our own Gerald Bourguet has been saying for quite some time. Over at gophnx.com, Ishbia says it's been a really disappointing year, very disappointed. There's not a person in the organization that doesn't feel that way. We had high expectations. We felt really good about where we were going into the season, and we've not met any of those expectations. We've been well below what we all expected, and it's not anything close. I don't understand how you can say that and then follow that up with, if we get in the playoffs, I don't think we're an easy out for anybody. It's like looking at 1 + 1 and telling you that it equals 4. You are the easy out. Teams punk your team night in and night out. And I agree. Listen, Matt, I appreciate the willingness to spend money, the willingness to go all in. And I want an owner who's more focused on winning now than winning in 2030. At the same time, you just got to call a spade a spade. How can you not be an easy out for anybody when you're not even in? How can you be so disappointed at what your team did? You're like, oh no, maybe if we change it. I thought this team would be good. I thought this team would be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. I thought the moves that they made in the offseason were good moves that addressed problems. I liked Ishbia's all-in mandate, and I still like it. I just don't like how they've gone about it. In this article, it says a source close to Ishbia said, for better or worse, there's no trust the process to Mat Ishbia. I think the biggest part of that quote, for better or worse, there's no trust the process to Mat Ishbia. But there is one certainty. And like I mentioned, they're not trading Devin Booker. And before I talk about what Bradley Beal had to say about all of this, which I think might have pissed fans off the most, I do want to talk about there was good in all of this, and maybe good from my perspective. I know a lot of you watching and listening and that have been following along are ready to or open to trading Devin Booker. This is what Mat Ishbia had to say about that. Never going to happen. It's silly. So here's what I'll tell you. I have Devin Booker in his prime. In order to win an NBA championship, you've got to have a superstar. You've got to have a great player. And that's followed up by reporting and a conversation with Devin Booker, who confirms that he won't be requesting a trade. Booker says, it's a rare breed. Playing for only one franchise is so important. I take pride in the community in Phoenix, the people that have supported me since I was 18 when things were ugly. And the people that are with us, we just fell short of accomplishing what we want. So I want to do it, and I want to do it here. And that is the good news in all of this for me, because I know the Dirk comparison is different because of the hardships that Book faced earlier. I think a lot of people would say that Dirk's collective prime is higher than Booker's. Obviously, he won the MVP. He had a team be a 1 seed, but playoff flameouts early on in his career when you had high seeds and you weren't supposed to flame out, like to the We Believe Warriors, or when the Suns win 64 games and lose on their home court in the second round in embarrassing fashion that same year. But think about how much Dirk means to that franchise. Think about how much it meant that he stayed there and that he won there. And Booker can do that. He says, that's the responsibility of being a franchise player. I wear that with honor. So it might not look the most pretty right now, but we got to get it done, and I'm going to do it. And I appreciate that. I love that mentality. That's the mentality that I want from Devin Booker. I've been very clear. I do not want to trade Devin Booker. I believe in Devin Booker. That being said, Devin Booker certainly has to be better. And I think the situation around Book is terrible right now, even though it shouldn't be. An owner who's willing to spend money, highest paid payroll in the league, Kevin Durant by your side, players who we thought were getting a steal on a vet minimum in your franchise, a coach who would win a championship, and y'all know how I stand on Mike Budenholzer, right? I think it's time. But right after, it's like a sandwich, right? It's fans getting mad at what Ishbia says, and then Booker, good news, and then the Ishbia sandwich continues. Ishbia acknowledges that positioning the Suns to realistically pursue their championship ambitions will probably require some roster remodeling around Booker. But it's insulting to Ishbia to suggest that a patient rebuilding process might be in the best interest of the Suns, who've given up control of their own first-rounders through 2031. Quote, it's surprising to me that other people, other fans, they actually like the rebuild process. And this is then context for MacMahon. Ishbia said, disdain dripping from his voice as the final word of that sentence comes out of his mouth. Quote, oh, let's rebuild it. Are you crazy? You think I'm going to go for 7 years and try to get there? You enjoy the 2030 draft picks that we have holding? I want to see the game today. I want to win today, and we're going to try to. Continues. Although, let's say that doesn't work. Guess what? Maybe next year we won't be as good, but we're going to try again. The next opportunity we have, we're going to try to win and compete, and it will work. We will win championships here in Phoenix. Might not be this year. It won't be. Might not be this year, but I promise you we're going to do it. And that's what we're focused on. And I'm so torn. I got like the devil and angel on my shoulder pulling me either way on that. Because that's great. I don't want an owner like Michael Bidwell over on the Cardinals who refuses to put any money or anything into his franchise, is more focused on building casitas than building a winner. I don't want the disgraced former owner of this team here, unwilling to spend money, breaking up championship teams because he doesn't want to pay people. That's the one side that's pulling me. And then you have the other side that's pulling me, which is look at where we are right now. I love the mindset. I agree with the mindset in theory, but in practice, is it correct? If your real goal is to win a championship, you cannot write off any path forward. Well, I think an aggressive approach is the right approach, and I want an owner who's going to spend the money like Ishbia spends, and he's invested so much in the facilities, in the arena, in the fan experience. He truly gives a shit. He actually does care about this franchise. He cares about winning. I'll take that over Patrick Dumont any day. The guy who's willing to sell off his star player because he doesn't want to pay him that super max that's looming in the offseason. And he doesn't understand what that means to the fans. I'll take that every single day of the week over Patrick freaking Dumont. But there's this middle ground that's not being acknowledged here. Look at some of the best teams in the NBA. Look at Oklahoma City. Maybe you don't need to go full tank like them, but is there any team in a better position to compete for the rest of the 2020s than Oklahoma City? Look at Boston, who's building around guys that they drafted and then went all in. It's a mix of homegrown and completely putting all your chips on the table, right? You see teams that go all in fail all the time. And I'm not saying that's what the Suns are going to be, but to completely disregard and disengage from the other side of the argument is a disservice to what's the best path forward for you. If Oklahoma City, before they went full tank, decided to double down, triple down in what's going on, they wouldn't be here right now. And I promise you, if you walk up to every single Oklahoma City fan, all 10 of them, and you ask them, hey, was it worth it? Even though they haven't won a championship yet, you have an MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. All of your guys under contract for next season. You have the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. You've already clinched a playoff spot. The only thing that's left is to go and do it, and you are set up to try year after year after year after year. If you ask them if it was worth it, they would say yes. You can't disregard draft picks in building now because the guy that you refused to trade was your draft pick. Again, this is coming from somebody who agrees with an aggressive mindset, who has backed and defended Ishbia tooth and nail from the moment that he showed up and got 35 on the doorstep. But to completely disregard the fact that there might be a better path, even if at the end of the day you don't come to that decision, to not give it the due diligence and accept that that is a reality that you have to explore given how you have handcuffed yourself right now, is irresponsible. And I know that he doesn't like the new owner syndrome tag, and it says that in here. But that's how you get it. More from Ishbia. I'll just say we're going to evaluate in the offseason. We're going to find a way to win, and it's probably a lot easier winning with Kevin Durant than without him. But at the same time, yes, if we're not good enough in this iteration of the Phoenix Suns, we're going to find a way to be better next year. Of course, that means the anticipation around the league, and we know this is trading Kevin Durant. And we know that Kevin Durant was caught off guard, and you guys know where I stand on Kevin Durant. I would much rather have Kevin Durant on this team than off. But I do appreciate the fact that Ishbia is open to reevaluating to continue to try to win. As much as I just ranted about him being stuck in his ways or to be stuck in that mindset, there's a difference between thinking that everything that you do is right and for some reason it's everybody else's fault when it goes wrong, and acknowledging when maybe something goes wrong and you have to change it. And maybe that's what does need to happen with Kevin Durant. Maybe. And of course, in this article, they talk about how the Suns have discussed frameworks for a potential Durant trade with the Timberwolves, the Miami Heat, and the Rockets. And league sources also mentioned the New York Knicks as a potential fit. And I'm not going to dive all the way into the KD stuff. We've done that so many times. We're going to do it so many times on PHNX Suns. So I want to go ahead and jump to, I think, the final thing that really got people angry about this. Bradley Beal. Some call him PTO. Some call him Mr. No Trade Clause. I feel for him. He says that he feels like he's been disrespected by the Suns sometimes this season. Quote, "I'm human, so I really have to take a step back and just kind of look at the big picture. And my biggest thing is when I came here, I want to win. I've scored 30 points a game. I've been an all-star. I've been all-NBA. I want to win. That's always been my label. I haven't won anything. So whatever that looks like for this team, whether that's me coming up the bench, whether it's me starting, whether it's me, whatever it is, I'm going to do it. Do I agree with it? Hell no. But I'm not going to be that guy. I enjoy the game, man. This game is fun. I try not to let anybody take the joy out of it for me. It's very hard. It's hard. We're all human beings, man. We have every right to shut down. We have every right to question what's going on. You have every right to say, why me? But I feel like that just drags you down a little bit more than you need. I'm still playing in the NBA. I still have the best job in the world, and I still have my no trade clause. So I'm smiling every day." Now, let me be clear. I feel for Bradley Beal. I really do. Genuinely. It's that end part that stings. You mentioned that you want to win. You're here to win a championship. Obviously, we all are. We all expected that. I get it. I'm still playing in the NBA. I still have the best job in the world. I still have my no trade clause. So I'm smiling every day. If winning was really that important, if winning weighed that much on you, you wouldn't care that you have your no trade clause. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't be smiling every day. That's just the truth. Can I blame him for being jaded? No. But is your goal really winning here? If you're 6 games under 500 and you're smiling every day? Now, don't get me wrong. You don't have to hate your life. Quit basketball. Give up. Nah, it's stupid. But if it's not working out the way that you want it to, and your reaction and your mindset isn't, damn, I'm mad. I'm pissed off. I don't want this to happen. I'm going to do everything in my power to change it. If that's not your response, maybe your mindset has shifted a little bit from when you first got here. And again, can I blame you? No, but that's just the way that it is. I'm smiling every day. I'm not. I'm not smiling every day. And I'm not on the damn team. Listen, there's so much more to this article. Mat Ishbia talking about how he's not meddling in actual decision making and how they're not contenders based on this year and all of that. I highly encourage you to go and dive into this article. I spent 20 minutes ranting on this, and there's still more. That being said, if you want more on this, subscribe, hit that like button. PHNX Suns is here for you, psychos and sickos, every step of the way. We hope that you appreciated this little mini podcast, this video here. Again, pregame, postgame show tonight. Become a diehard today. It's our final day of our $36 intro offer, and I will be doing a pregame show for our diehards only in our diehard Discord. Go to gophnx.com/join to get that intro offer today. Of course, we also do Cardinals, Diamondbacks, ASU, U of A, Mercury, Rising, all of that right here on gophnx.com, and of course over on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Turn the notifications on. Do not miss a video. Do not miss a live stream. All right here. We have you covered. Let me know down in the comments below. Does this make you mad? What do you think about Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Mat Ishbia's comments, Kevin Durant's future, whatever it is? Let me know down in the comments below. You are the most important people that keep the lights on here, and we value and appreciate your feedback and your input. So let us know. And trust me, you'll be hearing from me again, and I hope to see you there.